Hey Farm Share friends, this is Darlene finally coming to you with week 2, What's in Your Farm Share. This is take 2 because if you have not met our little farmer Bingham on the farm, he came and turned my video off, which is not great given that I'm finally just getting my voice back from laryngitis to do the video. We're gonna try it again. So it might be a little quicker on round 2. First item, new item in your farm share is your red beets. There have been a lot of people that are awfully very critical of beets and say they don't like them, but I have changed the mind of so many customers and farm share customers with the red beets. They are sweet and delicious. So many customers love to roast them. They just cube them up and then throw them in the roasting pan. I know there's some recipes that use honey and dill on top. You could just do it with all of your mixed fruit veggies. My favorite way is to chop the stem off about 1 inch above the bulb, the fruit. And then I throw that into boiling water and boil it until a fork enters into it soft, and it's soft. So usually about 45 minutes based on the size of these. But I would start checking it at 30 minutes. I love to do a pickled beet recipe where once you boil them and cool them, the peel and the top, everything slides right off, the roots and everything. So I would not do any trimming to that before I boiled them, because as you boil that, it's gonna fall right off. It's actually really kind of fun. I dice them up in coins, about 1/4 inch coins, do equal parts vinegar and honey, which you'll find out through the farm season is one of my go-to quick pickling recipes. Add lots of white onion and salt and pepper and refrigerate that. Make a cold pickle beet salad. Is so good. You can even add that on top of a salad. Use that brine as your dressing. But the second thing you can do with beets is the beet greens. You can do something as simple as throw them into your blender and make a smoothie. Sometimes I will throw the whole beet, just drop the whole beet and green in a smoothie. As long as you've got an apple or some strawberries or banana, you're really not gonna taste anything. It's gonna be a beautiful color. So if you're not feeling adventurous yet, that's something very simple. Or you can juice them if you are into juicing. But I like to heat a cast iron up with some lard and then saute some butter, mushrooms and onions. If I don't have mushrooms, I just do onions, but mushrooms are a great added benefit. Right now we have our oyster mushrooms and our lion's mane available in the market stand. And then I just I start chopping up the stem. Once I get to the leaf, I throw all the stems in the pan so they have an extra minute to cook. Wrap all the greens in a burrito and chop them up a couple different directions, and then saute them in there in high heat so they get a little crispy. Really great. Sometimes I just eat them all out of the pan before I even get the rest of the meal made. But I do love them on top of a fried egg, on some polenta or mixed in with rice. Even on some pasta is really great. So lots of uses for the beet greens, but if all else fails, the smoothie is a really good option. Yes, and even if you didn't get to them this week, you can freeze them and they'd be great for sauteing or smoothie later down the road. Everyone does have some fresh herbs. We have oregano this week. I'm using my oregano in a fresh pasta. We've got some pasta on our market stand, and I'm cooking some of the noccieti down today, and that'll get some of that oregano. I'll just slice it and diced up on my cutting board, and then just throw that on with some olive oil and maybe some salt and pepper and Parmesan cheese. Just go really simple. Fresh herbs are gonna make the flavor on your food pop. So if you're not familiar with those, we hope to introduce you a little more to those as the season goes. If all else fails, I sometimes take a little, either a clothespin or a little string and tie them up and hang them on a hook or shelf in the kitchen and let them dry. Once they're dried, you can use them dry, stick it in a glass jar, baggie or something in your spice drawer. And you'll have them when tomatoes come and you start making tomato sauce. The next thing we have is our Asian greens mix. So there's purple frilly mustard, arugula, and mizuna in here. You can saute this down or you can use it raw. One of our customers was making a Mongolian chicken or beef this week, and you could either serve that on a raw bed of greens, or you could throw your greens in there once the chicken or beef is done cooking and saute it and then serve it as one dish together on rice. Oh, yep. Here's my munchkin. Would you like to say hi to my video? Oh, look, can you say hi? Okay. So, yeah, she told me I could use it. The next thing we have is our sweet-tailed turnips. I know you guys have all raved about how much you love them this week, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying them, and kids too. I know some farm share families that this is the favorite thing that the kids get. Greens with these, again, if you didn't get around sauteing them, you can add them to your beet greens, or again, save them for smoothies and throwing them in there. We have our leaf lettuce here. So this is the 5 different types of lettuces that we grow on our farm, all cut, triple washed and ready for you guys to eat. We've had a little bit of complication with the tote company that we've had, so I think that we may just continue to use these containers throughout the year. It will really cut down on costs for the farm, but we've had some guests using them to see if they minded it being in a bag versus in the tote. If you guys do want to keep one of your totes at home, if you do like your greens in there, please do that when you have an empty one. Next thing we have is spinach. Again, I don't want to overwhelm you with greens, so there are 2 items that you can cook down, or you can even freeze the spinach. That way you can have it for sauteing, soups. I had somebody come in this week and they were buying onions, our breakfast sausage, which if you have not had our breakfast sausage, it's amazing. It's salt, pepper, and sage. So they had onions, sage, and spinach. And I said, are you making Italian wedding soup? And they said, yes, we are. So the kale from last week or the spinach are both gonna work really good in a soup, or both of them. So the last item, oh, we've got radishes. We've got red and purple spring radishes in your farm share. And then you have some beautiful sugar snap peas. And how fitting is it right now, as I have laryngitis from allergies, that I give you sugar snap peas, because sugar snap peas have really a lot of properties that reduce histamine levels in the body. So this can be histamine in the gut that's causing us some gut inflammation, histamine in our head and sinuses. So if you saw me today, I was eating these by the handful. I let them grow a little longer, so they're kind of tendrily. And then for a quick little ad, the ground peas were blooming in our cover crop, so we added some of those. Those would make a beautiful garnish, and they aren't edible on any of your food. So treat yourself and make it look fancy. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Oh yeah, it broke, honey.